Good morning, students from Ridge Road Elementary. I am Miss Vickers. I work at the district office here, and this morning I'm going to read you a story about a Vidalia onion named Yumion. And the title of this book is Yumion Goes to the City. This book is written by Rhonda Kite, and it is illustrated by Pam Alexander. So this story picks up where Yumion is leaving Vidalia and he's going to travel to different cities. So it says, when we last left Yumion, he was leaving his home to tell the world about onions from St. Simon's to Rome. He's proclaimed the state secret that was born in his town. He vowed that he'd travel rows up and then down. The onion ambassador had left the farm when he came upon a gentleman and tugged on his arm. "Hi there, kind sir. Yumion's my name. I'm from here in Vidalia, of sweet onion fame. I'm setting out on a journey, both near and then far, to let folks all over know who we are. There is only one question that I have in my heart. Can you give me advice about where I should start?" The man looked Yumion over from his stems to his shoes, smiled proudly and said, "Sure, I'll tell you my views. I'd start in Atlanta under the dome of gold, and this is the message they should be told. The brown thrasher, live oak, Cherokee rose are symbols that every good Georgian should know. Your name would make that list more complete. You should be the state vegetable, the Vidalia sweet." Yumion knew Mr. Barfoot was telling him true, for the fellow seemed to know just what to do. He pondered a moment and said, "Thanks a ton. I must run along now. There's work to be done." Yumion struck out with determination as he thought about reaching his destination. Just walking was the only way to begin as he started along on his journey again. He had very high hopes that he'd make it there soon if he had to walk by the light of the moon. A kindly old gentleman driving a truck stopped near him and Yumion yelled, "What good luck! I'm headed north. I can't wait to get there. I have an important message to share. I need some help and your truck is just great. I'd be there in a jiffy. No chance I'd be late." The driver said, "Hop on, you big old onion." His rider said, "Thanks, by the way, my name's Yumion." The man said, "I'm Raymond. Hang on tight, won't you please? 'Cause up there, you're bound to get quite a breeze." "Yahoo!" Yumion said as he looked forward and grinned. "I'm off to the city," he yelled into the wind. You can see where it says the State Farmers Market in Georgia. The truck drove into the State Farmers Market and they looked around for a place they could park. Yumion thanked Mr. Raymond and read toward the gate. He was so excited he could hardly wait. He roamed the aisles of peanuts, squash, and tomatoes. He walked among apples, pecans, and potatoes, a variety of foods that each appetite savors, all kinds of colors and all types of flavors. Finally, he spotted some kids who were walking, so he went over to them and he began talking. "Can you help me?" he asked, being very polite. They answered the stranger with a kind "We might be able to help you if we know what you need. Yumion smiled and said, "You're good friends indeed." And there's Yumion's meeting his friends. "I'm going to the Capitol building of gold, and there are ways to get there, or so I've been told. I'd be very thankful if you could give me a tip about the best way to continue my trip." One boy said, "A bus will be your best shot. Some buses go that way, but others do not. Bus 346 will stop here in a moment. You'll go to the Capitol if you make sure you're on it." Yumion said thanks as the bus pulled up alongside. He stepped on and braced himself for the ride. As the bus began moving, he saw a sign on the door. "Oh no," he cried, "I'm on bus 364. How could this be?" he wondered aloud. He looked back to see a bus fade in a cloud. Being a well-mannered onion, he thought, simply, "Oh my, I'll just see where this takes me," he said with a sigh. Just then he saw it, just as he'd been told, a beautiful flash of a building of gold. "There it is," he said as his bus rolled right by. "How will I ever get back? Oh goodness, oh my." The bus finally stopped and Yumion looked up in surprise. "Where am I?" he asked as he shielded his eyes. He saw a train going around on a track and skylift cars going up and then back from a really gigantic mountain of rock, as big around as a whole city block. "I'm sure this is not where I need to be, but that's a nice carving of Robert E. Lee. Jackson and Davis are along on their horses. This must be one of those state's great resources. Stone Mountain looks like a fun place to visit, but I don't think it's near where I'm going, or is it? I know what I'll do. I'll go to the top. Maybe from there I'll see my next stop." He hopped on board one of the skylift cars and said, "This may take me close to the stars." When Yumion got to the top, he looked all around, but he tried really hard not to look at the ground. A group of kids was up there enjoying the view. They cried, "Look, an onion. Now that's something new." Yumion said, "Hi, could you give me advice? I seem to be lost, and though Stone Mountain is nice, I'm heading to the Capitol building downtown. What is the best way to get where I'm bound?" "Let's see," they said as they looked far and away. "I see it," said Yumion, "in those clouds of gray." "Yes," shouted the kids, "to get there you'll need to ride on the train and pour on the speed." At the train, the kids shouted, "Good luck, new friend. Come back when you have more time to spend." Yumion boarded the train with his mission in mind. He did not expect to be this far behind. A sweet-looking lady searched for a seat, so Yumion the gentleman rose to his feet. He said to the lady with the smile that he wore, "Please take my seat. I'll stand by the door." As the crowd moved, Yumion got pushed all around, and the next thing he knew, he was flat on the ground. They hadn't meant to, but they caused him to tumble. He jumped up and brushed off without even a grumble. He read "Zoo Atlanta" on a sign overhead. "Perhaps someone here can help me," he said. So he followed the people inside to find out just what this new place was all about. It was better than he could have guessed. Lions, gorillas, and birds in a nest. There was a home for some special creatures, so he thought he'd check out some of its features. Signs pointed toward pandas, so cute, black and white, He headed there first, and to his delight, he caught sight of them there as they were lunching. It was stalks of bamboo on which they were munching. These guys are the cutest fellas around, but I must get back on track to downtown. Where to go next and how to get there is my problem right now. I've got no time to spare. Kids had helped him out so much today, so he looked for some more to show him the way. Just then there was a group of kids walking by him. Maybe they'll know a way, he said. I'll try them. Hi, friends, he shouted, and they stopped right away. Can you help me get to the Capitol today? Sure, they said. We know a shortcut too. The path through this field will get you out of the zoo. What's your name? Asked a girl. Are you an onion? I'm the onion ambassador, he said. Call me Yumion. As he walked in the field the children had shown, he realized something he hadn't known. Somehow he'd gotten into the rhino's backyard. Now he better keep up his guard. He jumped in a tree for his own protection. A helpful giraffe headed in his direction. This is a neck on which I can depend. I'm really glad you have this, my friend. The giraffe carried him through a field that was wide, then lowered his head, and Yumion did slide down to the other side of the gate. Thanks, Yumion called. Now I won't be so late. When he saw some kids who were standing right there, he thought they'd be frightened, but they only stared at the onion that had landed right at their feet. Big veggies didn't usually walk down the street. Hello, said a girl. What are you doing here? I'm trying to make it downtown. Is it near? It's not much more than a bike ride away. If you like to use mine, you certainly may. Do you mean it? Asked Yumion in disbelief. Sure, said the girl, and he sighed with relief. I'll get going now. Thanks for being so kind. You're helping me out of a terrible bind. Around and along with the traffic he swerved. On some roads he turned, and on some roads he curved. Yumion kept riding till his throat got dry. He shouldn't stop now, but he had to try to find some refreshments to quench his big thirst. A dry onion mouth could be simply the worst. He wanted a place to get something to drink. Surely he'd find it here as quick as a wink. Coca-Cola, he knew, was delicious and yummy. He couldn't wait to get some of it down to his tummy. Sure enough, at the very next corner he rounded, a great soda fountain was there, and it sounded like a running river right through the place. It put a big smile on his big onion face. Soda flowed freely from every spout. There were no cups in sight, so he crawled right out to the fountain with his dry mouth open wide so that sweet fizzy drink can flow right inside. He drank until he could hold no more. He was really refreshed, and he jumped to the floor to find a way out and be on his way. This had been an exhausting day. While looking around, he began to think, there's more to Coca-Cola than just a drink. He stopped to hear someone nearby tell some history, and he learned that the recipe is kept a great mystery. He found out that it once sold for 5 cents in a drugstore fountain to ladies and gents. It's a product about which Georgia can boast. It all started here. Now it's known coast to coast. This is all so interesting, Yumion thought as he listened, but he knew that somewhere nearby that dome glistened. It was time to go. He could stay right here no more. He had to remember what he come this way for. He set out again and came upon a glass wall, and the spectacular view caused him to call. "There it is," he said, "across the street, and this time I can just use my feet." He hurried right over as fast as he could. He had to make it. He knew he would. Up the steep steps of the building he bounded, knowing that everyone would be astounded to meet an onion with a message to bring, an onion who had many praises to sing. He went in as though he was expected, and to his surprise he was directed to the place where the governor was walking. Yumion strolled right up and started talking. "Hello, sir. I've tried to get here all day. Would you please listen to what I have to say?" "Of course I will, Onion. I'll be glad to. Please tell me what I can do for you." "I know that you are well aware of the town I'm from and the people there. All of us from down Vidalia Way are proud of our onions, and we want to say, Georgia State vegetable should be the Vidalia onion. And I came to tell you since I am the Yumion." "Of course you're right," the governor replied. "Let's get that done now while you're by my side." "Thanks," Yumion said. "My mission's complete. Now we'll all remember it pays to be sweet." And that is the story of Yumion, the Vidalia onion, as he travels the city of Atlanta. I hope you enjoyed it, and it was great spending time with you this morning. And I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you.